You are live. Yay. We are 35 minutes late for our 4 p.m. Friday live session. And today's topic is, does my anxiety affect my kids? Which is a really, really important topic for all parents. And you'll be interested to hear what our views are, I'm sure. And we are interested to hear what your views are as well, because I can only speak for myself and, all the information that I've studied and also from the clients that I speak to. And I've got Tracy Lee here, who's the program support coordinator for Anxiety Free Life 6-week program. And my name's Naomi Stockman, and we're from My Local Hypnosis. So let's get started, Tracy.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Happy Good Friday to everybody out there as well.
Oh, absolutely. That's why we're late, actually, because I went and saw my mum and my stepdad for Good Friday. So we had a little picnic at the Botanical Gardens.
Ah, nice.
Okay, so let's get into this subject matter, which is so interesting to me because I have, through working with people, I have found that not only does anxiety and depression run in families, but it also, we've talked before about generational trauma, where we can actually have anxiety and we can have trauma response, which has been passed down in our DNA from generations before. And this has been proven by studies that were done on war survivors and then their kids and their grandkids. But today's topic isn't really about generational trauma. It's about, hi, Steph, can see you there. Thanks for putting your name too on your comment. Today's subject is actually about the way that our showing up as parents can affect our kids, even though I know from speaking to mums and dads that we all do try and shield our kids from the stuff that we've been through. And if we're having a bad day, we try and, be that good parent and pleasant. And, it's all in good intention, but the stuff that we have been through, the emotions that we carry, lead to non-verbal communication. So, for example, I wonder if you can think of a time where you've just felt like something was off in someone. Like you might have a partner or a work colleague, and you're like, you can just feel like an energy around them. They're saying, no, I'm fine, but you're thinking, no, that person's not fine. So we all have like a vibe around us. And a lot of that is because we pick up cues from people that are non-verbal. They're so small, they're like micro muscle movements in the face and body language, and even things like breathing and all that sort of stuff. And I know from running the Anxiety Free Life program that we see a lot of parents that have that they'll talk about their kids, like, and what's going on in their families and stuff. And yeah, I love it too, Steph. I can see your comments. I don't know if Tracy, can you see the comments, Tracy, on the side there of the
Yeah, I've
screen?
got them
Yeah,
here.
beautiful.
This is a topic that hits home for a lot of people.
So Steph's actually an emotional intelligence coach working with families. So she's right there. This is one of her passionate topics as well. But Tracy, do you agree that when we're working, we've been working with a lot of women. Most of those women have children. Some of them are younger children. Some of them are older children. And we see a lot where either the kids are adult and they also have anxiety or depression, or we get a lot of parents that are, might have younger kids, and there's stuff going on there as well, and it's always really hard for parents. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts there before I railroad this whole segment?
I think I would find, with regards to the children's, a lot of the ladies that have been on the program, a theme that comes up a lot is I can't enjoy my children as much as I want to because they're so much in their heads. They're not present. And, you know, like you say, the children pick up on these micro expressions and all of these little things, and when you are stressed, even when you are trying to be in the moment and be happy, your kids know you well enough. They know something's not quite right, and they pick up on those cues. And often after the program, when the ladies have now overcome that anxiety and they're really feeling like so much more, one of the things that comes up a lot is, I am enjoying my kids so much. Today we were just laughing, or we were just doing this, or I found myself totally immersed in playing a game with them. You know, before they wouldn't have the time to. I'm talking about the little kids now, be able to actually play a
Mm,
game because they're so
yeah.
much in their head, and they just too wound up to actually enjoy that. And afterwards, they say, I love hanging out with my kids, and the kids are calmer because the kids pick up on your energy, like you say. You've got a different light that you're shining out, and yeah, they pick up on everything, no matter how
That
little they are.
absolutely. I know any time where you really, really want your kids to be good and you're actually a bit stressed, they pick up on that. Or if
Yeah.
you're on the phone, I've got a really important phone call to make, and they pick it up. So definitely there's a nonverbal communication passing on to the kids. But what I wanted to say about parenting is that our kids are always watching us to know
Mm,
if they're safe. They're watching us. Is,
mm,
like, what's this situation? Where are we right now? Is this safe? If mum is giving off cues that she's worried or anxious or
mm,
distressed, then the kids are picking that up. So if the world's not a safe place for mum, who
mm,
is our protector, how can the world possibly be safe for us? And
mm,
I'm
mm,
just I'm just thinking of a conversation that I had. Oh, who did I have it with? It, those conversations that you can't remember who you had them with. But I remember thinking that the conversation was where somebody. Oh, that's right. It was a lady who was saying to me. I know exactly where and who it was. It was somebody whose daughter had done like a somersault off the dressing table onto the bed. And then she had freaked out thinking, oh my gosh, you're going to hurt yourself, and, don't do that. But then she was taking her to like a trampolining place or gymnastics or something. And then she was too scared to do the flip into the foam pit. Foam pit is safe. But I guess when parents, and I think you were actually there when that conversation happened, Steph. That was at the Women with Altitude thing. Yeah. So the message that the parent gives to the child is A, this activity is not safe, or B,
mm.
you're not capable of doing that. So helicopter parenting, where you're kind of there making sure your child's super safe because you wouldn't be able to cope if
Yeah,
something happened. And then the child's picking up like, there's all this danger, and mum doesn't think that I'm able to cope with it, and mum couldn't cope with it,
yeah,
and the world's just one stressful, emotional kind of thing. And the other thing, I guess, that would be prevalent in my mind is that I don't know. I guess not everybody handles anxiety the same. Not everybody handles stress the same, and not everybody handles depression the same. But if I get anxious or I get stressed, I feel myself elevate, and then it's that straw that broke the
mm,
camel's back. That you don't have the patience that you would normally have to cope with things.
yeah,
And so then you do those snappy remarks, the sharp ones, the ones that leave people feeling like you just hurt them. Or you what else do we do? If we're depressed, then that there's all that fatigue and switching off and blanking out and feeling just not able to be happy and
mm,
joyful. So absolutely the effect of our emotional state not only affects our kids, but we're modeling for them how to
mm,
deal with emotions, how to be happy. How do we be happy? How do we
mm.
be excited? How do we be angry? How do we be sad? How do we be scared? And then where are the boundaries of all those things as well? So, you
Yeah.
know,
I think one of the best pieces of advice that I ever received was when I was pregnant with my daughter many, many years ago. And it was a work colleague, and she said, she had about 4 kids, and she just said to me, Trace, the one thing I'm going to just say to you now, when your child runs and falls, and they will run and fall a lot. She's like, prepare yourself. Don't react every time. They will tell you when it's like danger, you know?
Mm,
And it was the best. That stayed with me for so long because, you know, I've got two little, like when they were younger, total adrenaline junkies. So they was climbing on things and everything. And when they fell or whatever, then I would like, just wait a second, you know, did they, and then they'll scream and perform if it was really Aina, but most of the time they just like, okay, they look at mum's response, and if I'm calm, then they, oh, okay, get up and carry on. And that's very much how, that's what they carry on forward. Okay, what's mum's response? That's their first trigger, is they'll look at you the whole time. And you know, if we went to a park or something, just as an example as well, and I don't know, when you watch the little ones on the, I don't know how you are with your little one, but when you watch them on the jungle gym, sometimes you just have to turn away. But the parents that'll sit there and say, "Oh, Johnny, don't do that. You're gonna fall and hurt yourself." Then Johnny falls and hurts himself because that's what he thought. And, you know, and if you say, well, just hold on tight, make sure you hold on tight, then their brain is thinking, hold on tight. And those words that you use when they're growing up as well, if you are anxious, your words are going to be anxious. You know, you're going to spell out every worst case scenario that can happen. And
yeah.
when you're not there, that's often what is playing in their mind. That internal dialogue is sometimes like your mum's voice or your dad's voice, you know? So it's very important to kind of steer your dialogue in the right direction, you know, rather focus on what they should do to be safe and not everything that could possibly go wrong. And, you know, then it's like from walking on a jungle gym to, oh, and then you're going to end up in hospital and da 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 da. And then
Yeah.
that's how they will then continue in life, you know?
Learning
So,
how
yeah.
to create those mind movies.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
And I know I'm just thinking back to conversations that I've had in the past with clients where they've said, I have such bad anxiety. You know, sometimes I can't take my son to soccer training. I can't, like the thought of going to a kid's birthday party. So the kids then, I've got we can only see Facebook user, not name. So unless you've registered your name, just type your name in there too. So hi back to all the people who are watching. I can see there's a couple. And yeah, so not being able to take kids to birthday parties or soccer training or driving out of suburbs. Oh, hi Tiff. Um, is hard. And even if you're hiding it from
Mm,
the kids, you know, saying, "Oh, mum's just tired," or you know, "We'll get dad take you to take you today." There's still an effect. There's still
mm,
an effect, whatever the anxiety effect is, and it's different for everybody. That's the thing. Like some people have like where they don't get out of bed for 3 days from depression. Other people have where they
mm,
can't sit still, so they're constantly cleaning. Now imagine living in a house where mum's constantly cleaning. You know, that's another effect, really, when you think about it. Like
mm,
it might be nice to have a clean house, but for a child, that's still a
mm,
message, you know, that
mm. It's
mum's
like little
not
baby
relaxed.
ducklings. It's like you
Yeah,
imprint on your kids. They're going to take what they learn from you. And if you think like up until the age of 7, they're being programmed, you're literally programming them. But it's not to say that after that you can't help them, because a lot of the ladies that go on the program, their kids are older already, you know,
yeah.
and you'll often hear, wow, my daughter and I, we went for a coffee date. We had the best time. There wasn't tension, there wasn't fights. We just had such a good time, and nothing has changed except me, you know,
Yeah.
how I deal with it. Am I experiencing anxiety? No. And suddenly it has a ripple effect, and it's amazing. I mean, from where they start to where they're after, and how their relationships just blossom. and
Yes.
and it's so much calmer and authentic. It's not a forced try and stay in control because, you know, inside, because they're picking up on all of that. It's an actual, you are genuinely relaxed, and
Yeah.
the kids pick up on that and they love it. They thrive
There,
on that. They
there's
totally.
so many aspects to this conversation. I'm just coming up in my mind. I'm thinking of so many more because then there's the mum guilt, you know, as
Oh
well,
my
which
goodness, that's a whole other topic. Mum guilt. Yes.
but when we have anxiety or we have depression, mum guilt is like one of that lurking shadow that's going to like come sneaking in as well. And then what we do is we compensate. So when we
Mm,
compensate for our kids, we're giving them a message as well. We're giving them the message of, you know, there's something in your life that needs to be compensated for because, you know, you have a lack of some kind. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're compensating, there has to be a lack. So that can give somebody like that, just that feeling of there's some kind of lack about me, or lack about my situation, or lack about the world, that there's this mum guilt coming across from the parent. I know, because I suffer from mum guilt as well.
Yeah, I think we all got a bit
Yeah.
of that.
There's no perfect people here, people. um, yeah, so the mum guilt, which we pass down onto our kids, but basically the bottom line is that when we're dealing with adult, like we deal with people that are 30, 40, 50, 60, any age really, but we get people in that are talking about their mum. So if somebody's in their 50s and we're dealing with mum, my mum was a very anxious woman. She worried about everything. So if somebody's coming at age 50 with that and then telling us about the effects it had on their life, I can absolutely 100% guarantee that our anxiety, our depression, our emotional processing is going to have an impact or an imprint on the
Yeah.
experience of the child, because you cannot live in the same house with someone, even as another adult, without their moods and their emotions like muddying off rubbing, let's call it rubbing off onto you. So if your primary caregiver struggles emotionally, then it just is, through no fault or blame, logical that it's going to rub off. It's going to rub off.
Mhm.
It's just a fact. I mean, yeah.
I th I think one of the most beautiful things that one of the ladies said to me after the program was, "This is changing the legacy in our family."
Oh, that
So,
is
just
beautiful.
learning those different coping skills and how to apply the things and going forward, she was like, "This is gonna change the whole legacy," and I thought, "Wow, that's powerful, that's true."
And I quite frequently get people who, where once mum's done the program, they want their kids to do the program too.
Oh, yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and you know the difference, and this is where mum guilt comes up, is being able to step back, because when you're anxious, it's very hard to let go, because the thing that
Mm,
one thing that can help us with anxiety is to try and control, like whether it could
mm,
be just the smallest things. It can be, like I said, used the cleaning before as an example, but having some feeling that you have control over something um, helps you to feel that the anxiety isn't on top of you, or the overwhelm isn't on top of it, which is just, double whammy. So I guess when we are not anxious, we can let go that little bit. And when we let go a little bit, it
mm.
gives our children a bit of space. Um,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
I mean, the counter of that, I mean, there's both sides of that coin, is that when you're really anxious and overwhelmed, that you may not be present enough, like the boundaries. If anyone who struggles with boundaries or people pleasing or any of that sort of stuff, and I know I was guilty of this when I was much younger with my kids, is, I was never a confrontational person. So I didn't really speak up for myself. I just managed. I could dodge and weave and, whatever. I didn't, if I didn't like a situation, I might move myself out of it. But when you've got kids and they're in school, they need someone to advocate and speak up for them. And I found that really, really
Mm,
hard. Knowing the
mm.
balance, like, you know, between healthy advocacy and being able to say no and yes, and just basic adulting. Because I know for me, I always felt like I was the pretend adult in the room. Like my age didn't make me an adult. So Stephanie says, "This is me too, Naomi." Yeah,
So
I'm,
when you look around the room and you're looking for somebody a little bit more adultier than you, and then you realize you're the only adult, you're like, "No."
oh, it's more to the point that being in a room and then feeling like you're just pretending to be a grown up while everyone else is a real grown up. And
Yeah.
the reason I share that is because I know it's actually like, I thought I was the only one, until then I realized that there's a whole stack of other people. And one of the things with the program that people come to us with is, I feel like I'm the adult now. And
Yes.
because it's been our child self running our life for so long, and I actually get that now. I like I it's
Mm.
it's yeah, it is such a relief to actually go, oh, I'm now the adult in the room. And I like
Yep.
being the adult. And it's a good
It's
adult.
quite a
It's a good
shift.
adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a whole stack of stuff that affects our kids, from everything from operating from the non-adult space to maintaining a high level of control of things that we can control because we feel like we need it to keep safe, to being in our head too much that we can't enjoy the play, to the micro communication from our non-verbal, bits that we, everything from eye movements to little facial twitches to the corners of your mouth to your breathing, everything. It's just all part of it, and it does make a difference. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anxiety definitely doesn't matter the age of the kids, they pick up on it.
Yeah, they do. Okay, well, thank you for watching, everyone, and thank you for your comments. We're live every Friday at 4 p.m. We do have a poll that goes out on Tuesday where you can vote for the topic. Feel free to add options, because Tracy and I, we sit there and go, what will we talk about? And, when it comes to the day, we always manage to come up with something, but we love your engagement, love your votes on the polls, and look forward to seeing you. And if anything we talk about hits home, or you'd like to talk about it more with one of us directly, we're both able to jump on a phone call and have a chat with you, or just send us a message on Messenger. And we'd love to hear from you. All right.
Yeah.
Have a beautiful Easter, everyone. Happy Easter. And we will be back next Friday with another
Bye,
topic.
everyone. With another
Bye-bye.
topic. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Bye.